Greetings today from Alabama. Today is Easter Sunday, and what a blessed day today has been. And after the church service today, and after the meal that we had, because at Flint River Primitive Baptist Church, we have a meal together every other Sunday. And that is a meal that I thoroughly enjoy, not only because it's home-cooked Alabama food, but besides that, the fellowship and the time together, it's just really great. And after the service, Elder Ben, who is the pastor of the church, was out in the parking lot. He goes out there after church when people are getting ready to leave to watch out for the kids that are all running around, and we don't want to back over any of them, so he kind of takes that on as a parking lot attendant, and we began to speak about various different things. And he asked me, he said, well, now, since you've been here, how do you like Alabama and being here at Flint River? And of course, it was very easy for me to tell him, well, we love being in Alabama, and we also love being at Flint River Primitive Baptist Church. You know, when I worked in the Yellow Pages, there was a saying, content is king. And one of the things that I will say, coming from large, impersonal type churches, charismatic churches, where there was a lot of, big music, worship leaders, could be large congregations, and other than maybe a few people that you really sat around, you didn't get to know that many people, because it was just basically hi, how you doing, and we'll see you next Sunday kind of situation. Well, going from that type of experience to a small, when I say small, I mean under 75, maybe even a little smaller than that, Primitive Baptist Church, where you're starting to get to know everybody and you eat a meal together with everybody every other week, is quite a difference. And there's more content involved in that. The singing of hymns, for instance, without bands or worship leaders. You're singing hymns which are doctrinally correct, and you're reading the words and you're being blessed by the words. You know, there's a lot of people who are drawn to big church celebrations with big budgets and music and all of this stuff. And a lot of that stuff, after a while, it could be miles wide, but not very deep. And one of my testimonies about being in a Primitive Baptist church is, it may seem a little old-fashioned. It may seem like you've stepped back into history, so to speak, because after all, the Flint River Primitive Baptist Church was established in 1808. Can you imagine being in a church that's been a congregation in existence from 1808? That's content. That's depth. And if you ever want to start getting a glimpse of what Flint River is like, you can go online. I'll give you some links to flintriverpbc.org. And you can either listen to sermons or music. And all the music is a cappella. Which to me, the congregation, everybody is singing together. It's not like somebody's up there giving a song service and you're just being entertained by the song service. Or even worse yet, you've got smoke and lights and laser beams and all kinds of ridiculous things that have no business in an actual church service to begin with. It's fine if you're going to go to a rock concert, but after all, it's not church. That's not what church is. So, singing of hymns. Let me say something about singing of hymns. The words, the richness of the words. I mean, you know, I've actually been more blessed at times singing the hymns than even though the preaching is great and I learned something in everything, I mean, there's just something about a congregation singing hymns. If you've never done it, you need to find a good church that does that and get involved in that. Do that for a while. It's a real blessing. So how do I feel about being in Alabama? Wonderful. How do I feel about being in the Flint River Primitive Baptist Church, which I'd say, well, everybody should join, but if everybody joined, that it may get too big. No, there's plenty of good Primitive Baptist churches around here, and if there's not one where you're at, you need to find out what they teach, because what they teach is doctrinally as sound as any place I've ever heard anywhere. And I'll give you some links to that. Many blessings to you. And it's not in the glamour and the glitz, because with all that emotion and hype, eventually you come away stimulated emotionally, but down in your soul, you're still going to be hungry. The old past, the good old ways, they feed you in your soul where you're not hungry. And many blessings to you. And check out the links. Bye-bye.